Hi everyone. I know times are hard and we're all getting through it together. But if you're anything like me, you've been quarantined for almost a week now. My name is Rena Martelle and I'm a chef who's worked at some of the finest restaurants in New York City, as well as overseas in Asia. And thanks to Costco, I have found ways to help you make gourmet food in your own home with only the dry goods you have left in your cabinet. I know it sounds a little strange, but come with me and let's give it a try. So, something I've made many times in the restaurants I've worked in, it's called arancini. They're small risotto balls that are handmade, and they're fried. It doesn't take much time to do. They originated in the 10th century in Sicily from the word arancia. Now that means orange. What we have here is a massive bag of rice, which unfortunately I had to buy because Costco's run out. And then we have oil, and we have some spices, just at-home spices, whatever you have in your cabinets, you know, you'll make it work. Some plain salt, and some potato chips, and bacon. So potato chips, I know it's gonna sound weird, right? But we're gonna use those as the outside crust. So the most interesting ingredient we're gonna use, which I guarantee you probably have in your house, is packets of ramen noodles. For now, we're gonna use just the inside packet, and we're gonna go to the pot and put it on in so that it's the flavoring for the rice. This is my preference. Personally, my favorite ramen noodle is the miso. And creating an arancini, basically all you really want to do is have the rice saturate as much flavor as it can. Because rice is kind of picky, you know, like it takes some time to get all the flavor in. So with the dry pot, no fire on, nothing on, I'm gonna put in that spice, that flavoring. I come over here and open up this gigantic bag of rice. That hopefully will last me the whole quarantine. So we're just taking 1 cup measuring. I mean, I don't know how many people that you're serving, but 1 cup measure should do it right. Right? And with risotto, as you know, you're supposed to toast the rice first, just to get it, not crispy, but just to get it that kind of toast flavor. You can take a look, we're just mixing up that spice into the rice. And getting it nice and evenly kind of coated. The risotto, which most of you probably know how to make risotto. It's fairly simple. You're just kind of boiling down rice. And we're just gonna get it. There's a rule of thumb that most of you probably know where you just look at right at the beginning line of your finger, and you just want about that inch of water over it. And you can already see that seasoning is already setting in and creating a nice broth, which is gonna taste wonderful. As this kind of cooks down, we're gonna work on the bacon part, right? Because normally arancini has some kind of prosciutto, some kind of cured meat that's traditionally involved in its cooking, but unfortunately we have bacon, so I'm gonna work with that. So this is about the size you want here, right? Just small squares, because as this gets fried in, it's gonna be kind of in a mesh of that bond. All right, so we're about 1 layer down until the rice is fully cooked and the oil is heating beautifully. So now we're gonna start spicing this up a little bit. So we'll kind of just add a little onion garlic, and don't be too worried about adding too much. You know, the more flavor the better in these times. And I'm putting a little Cajun in there just to spice it up a bit. And the risotto will absorb that beautifully as it goes there, and it's gonna keep cooking down. So while we wait for that risotto to cook down, I have a special treat for you. I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine. His name is Rishi Mathur. He's a comedian who I originally met at a little dive bar on McDougal Street, but now he's served major theaters like Caroline on Broadway and West Side Comedy. And he's going to bring you a couple jokes during most of our episodes just to keep you guys lighthearted, bring some levity so that we all get through this.
Hey, what's up everybody? I never knew how bad coronavirus was until I saw an article where ISIS is giving travel advisement to other terrorists. That's crazy. Even terrorists are scared. Like one terrorist like, get to Europe. And the other terrorist like, no, bro, corona. Be safe, think, be smart. All right, so ever since I've been quarantined, I've been going crazy. And me and my girlfriend have both been getting high anxiety to the point where after we'll watch porn. And there's something I've been noticing in porn, which is a huge injustice. There are no Indian guys in mainstream American porn, and I had it with this. There's no Hungjeev Singh, no Deeppak Chopra. What happened to Cum Dog Millionaire? How come that hasn't been done? Like, once this coronavirus is over, I'm telling you, America, I'm going out on the street and protesting. We want Indians in porn. Something better, but you get the idea.
So as I mentioned before, the potato chips. This is where they start to come into play because unfortunately we don't have, you know, bread right now is kind of in short supply. So any kind of dried carbohydrate that you have works very well as an outer crumb. So I already crushed these up, but you can see they're crushed up with the Cajun spice in them as well. So now we have the bacon all cut up. Don't worry about using oil. Bacon obviously makes its own fat, so you can just kind of shove it right on in to a hot pan. And you can kind of hear that it'll begin to sizzle on its own. When you've cooked in professional kitchens enough, you start to get too used to using the tongs, kind of like Sweeney Todd becomes the end of your hand, you know. So now everybody starts to use ladles, but tongs are much more of a easier thing for me to work with. So now you can hear it start to sizzle, and we're just gonna keep that going. And I'm gonna go ahead and let that sit. The rice has been cooling now for a little bit, so we're about to get going on rolling the arancini. So I don't know how many people have much of these guys left, but when you coat something, as you know, like chicken parmesan, anything like that, usually you wanna use egg yolk. And we're just separating here whites from yolks because you wanna save, if you do have eggs, save your whites because you can use them for a beautiful omelet in the morning. Just keep the yolks for this one project here. So now we're mixing it in, and you can go ahead and get that gorgeous oil there, the fat that's coming off that bacon, and just kind of tuck it on in there. Now that it's a little bit more solid and it's cooled down, make sure it's very cold. You can take it, clean hands, and kind of gently manipulate it, because remember, it's a little harder than usual, but you can form it. It will form just like that. And then you just want to get it coated in that egg yolk. And then you're going to do one more layer of the chips. Make sure you coat it completely, because it's not like normal arancini. It's a little harder. So there you go. There's about exactly what you want. The little orange. So I have a couple here that are just 3 of them. They're all set and ready to go. The oil, as you can hear, it's nice and hot, not at a smoking point though. And we're gonna see how these cook off. We're gonna give it a shot. And at a nice low temperature on that oil, you'll start to see them fry. Beautiful. So we have them now, all perfectly fried, nice and crispy. So let's go ahead and see how it tastes. I mean, it's fried perfectly. Oh, it's beautiful. And you get the bacon and the risotto flavor. And if you like ramen noodles, you're gonna love this one. It's delicious, really. Give it a shot at home. You're gonna be pleasantly surprised. Thank you guys so much for your time. I'm really excited I got to share this recipe with you, and I can't wait to share more. All kinds of canned goods, dry goods. We're gonna figure out a way to use them. Stay positive, stay motivated, stay together, and follow me on Instagram. RENA_MARMITAKO. Can't wait to see you there. Have a good night.
You're not executive.
I wasn't executive.
Action.
And the word derives from a word called Arancini, which means orange, right? And it looks like small balls. So you're taking your time to roll it into small balls. All right, guys, I'm very pleased to have shared this recipe with you, and I'm really glad that you took your time. I'll be sharing a couple more. Sorry, my cat's a jet.